Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at what does the student testing environment actually look like. So I have, on the screen in front of me, I've got PowerTest up. This is the welcome screen it starts out with for every student. I'm going to say start. It's going to ask me for the student ID. I've got to type in a student ID number here. And then it's going to tell me to select the exam that I need to take. Now, interestingly enough, if there are no exams for the student to take, when they type in their number, it will just tell them no exams, and it'll take them back to the login screen. If there's more than one exam that the student has that they can take, their screen will look similar to this one, like you're seeing right now. So I've got an English Language Arts example, PowerTest read-along test, and a example 5th grade math test. I'm going to be taking the example 5th grade math test right now from the student side. I'm going to say next, and it's going to ask me for the download password. So on this test, the teacher set up a download password, and as a student, I can't get into it until I know what that password is. So it's a nice way to keep students to where you can get everybody started at the same time, and also prevent students from getting into tests prior to the time where they need to be in them. I'm going to go ahead and put in the download password and hit next. You'll notice on the student side right now, I'm technically in a web browser page, but if I put my mouse up here, I don't get anything where I can surf anywhere. And if I try to exit out of this window by using a key, like let me pull the Windows key. Not sure if you can see what's going on in the background, but it's telling me that I need to return. If I begin my exam as a student, and then I start trying to do that sort of thing, here's what happens. There's a countdown timer in the background. If I don't make it back fast enough and say okay, it kicks me out of my test, which I will let happen here in just a second. I'm going to go through and I'm just going to answer some questions as a student. I'm in section 1 right now. So I'm working through the problems. What if I try to escape? Oh, look, it starts counting down right at that 5 seconds. What if I try to escape again? 2 seconds. So you notice it's not that they get 10 seconds every time, it's that they get 10 seconds total of time spent out of the test. That's it. Let's let it run out. And it'll kick me out of the test. So let me try to log back in here. And my math test is currently not available. So interestingly enough, on the teacher side, let me see if I can show you what that looks like here real quick. On the teacher side, the teacher has to come in and take a look at what's going on with the student's exam. So currently, I can see Dylan got through 2 of 10 questions. It says he's testing, but when Dylan tries to get in, Dylan's unable to get back into the test. In order for him to be able to get back in, I have to, as the teacher, click on Continue Student Test. I'm going to let him continue, and then let me pull back up the PowerTest here. All right, so let's go back, try to re-sign in as the student. And look at that, the math test is back, and now I can say next, download password. And then interestingly enough, it is going to save where I left off as a student. So question 1 I had answered, question 2 I'd also answered, but I hadn't answered question 3 yet. So let me just run through here real quick. All right, I'm done with the first section. This is what it looks like for the student when they're done with the first section. You go into the next session, and I can continue on. I do have tools over here as a student. The calculator's turned on. So the teacher had turned on the calculator for this portion of the test. I've got highlighters, so I can click and highlight things. I can use a pencil to erase items. I can use the choice eliminator. That's handy if I have multiple choice style questions. And I also have a pencil so that I can work out problems right here if I want to. Okay. Trying to get through here and finish up this test so you can see what it looks like when the student finishes. There's another section complete. If I want to go back to a question while I'm sitting here, it shows me I have 3 answered, 0 not answered, and I didn't mark any for review. What if I had marked one for review? So let's go back through. And I can see it says, oh, okay, I marked it for review. I can go right back to question 4, take the review mark off, then I can come back to summary, and there we go. So great environment so far for students. What if I try to get out again? I do have another 10 seconds if you notice. So again, it restarts over after the teacher resets, but it keeps students into the testing window and keeps them from being able to look items up on other tabs and other browser windows and all of those types of things. Just trying to finish up the test here. Okay, I've answered everything. I don't need to go back to anything. I'm going to submit. I'm about to submit the exam. Now the teacher has put a submit password also on this test, so this is what it looks like for the student. The student or the teacher, if you wish, has to come over and type in the submit password. You'll notice it doesn't show what the submit password is as it's being typed in, so if the teacher wants to hold on to that, they can, so that you could make it the same submit password every time. The teacher has to come over and type in that it's okay for the student to turn in their exam. Again, that's all up to you. It has to do with how you want the testing environment to work in your classroom. Student hits submit, and voila, I can see right away I got a 60% as a student, and I can say, okay, and it'll take me right back to the login screen. In the next video, we're going to be taking a look at, from the teacher side, what does it actually look like once your students take an exam or an assessment and you start to get results back. What can you actually do with the reports that come in, and where are those found in PowerSchool Assessment? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.